Great Scott, QC issues, because we got some DeLorean shenanigans going on over here, and I want to share my screen. And there's a user on Facebook that sent these to a bunch of YouTubers, including myself and Collecting Weekly, Zach, and some others. Max King, I believe was his name. So I want to bring this up. There were some DeLorean QC issues going around, and this is why we actually just had a stream on Ben Thomas's show. So if you guys want to check that out, Ben Thomas's show, go check him out. He's great, super great guy. We talked about this DeLorean and the QC issues that people are experiencing, and it varies though, because I've seen some people get it and some people been very happy with it, and then some that are getting issues like glue on the seats, the wheel. This seems to be a very common issue with the hinge in terms of making it go into flight mode. So it like the hinge is cracking, and regardless of how people are doing it, following the instructions or not, it's breaking. And then the tires seem to be problematic for some people, marks on that hinge, some of the wires with glue stains. There's a very clearly cracked hinge. That's the photo we had seen before about the seat gluing. And then there was also, I'll share with you guys before I let the panel jump in here, there was a post made too, and some people commenting some of these things. So like this, issues like that. So we're seeing problems, right? So I want to start with you, Carlos, because you messaged me about this. And I know you have the DeLorean on order, and you were asking me kind of what you want to do here. And I think there's going to be a lot of people wondering the same. What do you think? What do you think, Carlos, about these issues? Is this worrisome to you?
It definitely is, just because the DeLorean it's a pricey item. I could take this time to say, hey, and try to trash, Hot Toys, but it's just unfortunate that it's even happening. I would just want to say it just sucks for collectors right now, just because, with tax and shipping, it's coming out close to probably $1,000 or so. The QC issues is obviously going to be I think obviously a big deal. I bought mine. Now I'm going to still keep it because mine's already paid off, because I was able to get one for $690 shipped without points or anything from a US retailer. So I'm willing to go through the QC problems and exchanges just because the price was so good, that I think it's going to be worth it for me. But definitely, someone who paid full retail from Sideshow plus, taxes and shipping, if you're paying a lot of money, I could see why this is going to be really frustrating. It's going to be frustrating for everyone. But I think this goes more than that, saying that even a company like Hot Toys, that it's really unfortunate that it's happening, that making a vehicle is just difficult overall. If Hot Toys can mess up, who have a huge track record, then anyone really can. It's just unfortunate. Hopefully they, Sideshow's going to have enough replacements, because I know that when this is obviously going to be different, because I'm assuming that they're going to be ordering, these by the tons, by the thousands. I'm sorry, not about tons, the thousands. Compared to like the Blitzway endoskeleton arm, it came to a point that there were so many problems that they couldn't actually offer replacements. They'd either offer like a store credit, or you just could return it for a refund. So I'm hoping that they have more than enough, and I'm sure they do, so they can offer replacements and fix these problems. Hopefully, whoever you bought this from, you're buying it from a good retailer, because some retailers, even though it's a US retailer, will not let you return this if it does arrive broken. Sideshow will. So hopefully most of the collectors did go that route. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, I think that's a pretty big deal. Obviously, $1,000 piece. The value is there, because now look at NR and how much they're charging. But like I said, hopefully we they address this. But it just sucks, because it feels like with the Back to the Future line, the Doc Brown, with so many problems, and now this with so many problems, it just feels like maybe it's just me, but I don't feel like you can see the love. Like, I don't feel like they really put their time and effort into this, and you can kind of tell with the Doc Brown and the head sculpt, and now this. So it's just really unfortunate. And like I said, I'm gonna get mine hopefully the next month or two, and my opinion may be a bit biased, because I got it significantly cheaper. So I'm gonna be willing. Like, these problems will be problems, but I didn't pay $1,000 for it either. So yeah.
Even at what did you pay? $650?
$690, I think, shipped.
Bro, you should not be having these kind of problems.
Oh no, I agree.
$90.
Oh,
I'd be pissed off if I bought a real car for $690 and the wheel was falling off.
The wheel falls off.
Like,
that's a pretty beater of a car, though.
But I mean, I guess for me, it would be like, it's more like, well, I'm already paying under retail shipped, so I'm gonna be willing to go through these QC problems, and it's still gonna be annoying as fuck. But if you paid full retail plus shipping and tax, that's even I could see how that can even be even worse for you. You'd be like, fuck this, I ain't going through this problems or this hassles. I'm gonna be like, no, I want to go through it because I want it for $690. You know what I mean? So maybe this means that it's gonna sit and it's gonna get super heavily discounted.
Well, the wheels aren't even supposed to turn either, from what I was told. And if you
can't
do,
even
that
roll
can break
it.
it
Like
also. Yeah.
No.
Like the wheels are not supposed to move at all. So like if you turn the wheels, you could also break this thing. So,
Right.
it's very fragile, it seems, which Carlos, you've pointed out with the Bat Pod. I mean, the Bat Pod has a lot of fragility to it as well.
Yeah.
So, obviously it's a different type of vehicle, much bigger than this.
Yeah.
This one's much bigger than the Bat Pod. But, in comparison to the Tumbler, you didn't have any of those issues with the Tumbler, did you?
No, but I've said that, and everyone can buy wherever you feel most comfortable. But I will say that after owning and I own the Ecto One, owning the Tumbler, and owning a JazzSync product, JazzSync once now that they've hit their stride, I feel very confident to say that JazzSync makes some quality stuff. I'm not saying Hot Toys doesn't, because they obviously have, but you can clearly tell they didn't really put effort into this, because I think that we can all agree on that, or hopefully we all agree on that. So
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. Well, Dean the Dream, what do you think about this, bro? I know, like I said, you're gonna have some strong thoughts about this. What do you think about this DeLorean QC issues? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, and we're gonna go super in detail on Tuesday over on Collecting Weekly. If you guys don't get enough here, I just want but this is honestly so unacceptable. These prices that were
This is ridiculous right here.
Yeah, this one's pretty bad.
any kind
it is bad.
of glue left over, or maybe I could understand, like, hey, a seat wasn't glued down all the way, or maybe there wasn't enough glue and it popped off in shipping. Shit happens.
Right.
But this kind of stuff is egregious. I mean, that's just haphazardly put on an area where there should be no glue on the headrest. Like, what the what the hell
It's
is even
it's like
this?
they had extra glue in their hands and they accidentally
That's
touched it. They're like,
crazy.
oh,
Yeah,
shit.
and they were like, no one will notice that, and they shut the door and called it a day. Like,
Yeah,
this, I mean, the prices that you're talking here are so high
Well, and
that, like, all of this is unacceptable. I mean,
Yeah.
Shit happens. I'll give you that, but I mean, the wire, you had a picture of it on the side where it wasn't glued in properly, and then now there's residue on the side. The hinge thing alone is alarming at how many people every day are posting, hey, my hinge broke too. At first, I was like, yo, these people don't know how to handle their shit. I was like, there's no way that these people are handling this thing properly, until like the third day, where I was like, well, okay, this is getting kind of silly. And then it was like a whole week has gone by, and every day it's somebody new, and it's like, oh my God. It just feels rushed from the announcement to being in hands.
Yeah.
It's
that's true.
It seems very rushed.
Can I ask you a question?
Me?
Yeah, you. Sincerely.
Yeah.
Does this make you? I'm not sure if you're getting the '89 Batmobile, but does it make you feel one way or another about JazzSync or Hot Toys now that you're seeing this?
And people have had issues with JazzSync in the past.
Of course, yeah.
But I always kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, hey, it's a literal mom and pop. It's a guy and his dad in a garage making these things. Back in the day, I think now they have a little more streamlined.
Yeah, they've gotten bigger. Yeah.
But I don't think I ever saw JazzSync have something this egregious.
The seats are crazy. That's crazy.
yeah,
to
this
me.
stuff is pretty bad here, but
Yeah, I think like the craziest thing I saw on JazzSync is people didn't like where the screw holes were placed, or maybe like a paint app was.
Well,
not
I
done
think
properly.
I heard
it was really heavy, and then they did a version 2 and then version 3, so that fixed the problem. But that was also their very first vehicle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because they usually did like dioramas.
right, correct.
But Hot Toys, It'd be one thing if the first DeLorean was kind of a shit show, and they're coming out with a second one. They're trying to make it better and still, but it's like the first DeLorean
Was
damn
good.
near flawless.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a pretty good track record of making really good shit. So when this happens, it's like, what is going on over there? Like,
Yeah.
it's so beyond the norm that it's like this. I mean, I almost can't cut them any slack.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Well, the one,
Yeah,
before I
it's
get to you, Dan,
unfortunate.
the one point I pointed out on Ben's show, and this was, maybe it's a devil's advocate point, I don't know. But as far as like the other shit, yes, I'm totally with you guys. As far as the wheel break, the seat breaking and the glue and that type of stuff, yeah. I mean, really, it's all unacceptable for the price you're paying for it. But I was kind of trying to think of a comparison here, because with the wheel with the hover mode is such an iconic part of this vehicle, and it's such a part that's been marketed very thoroughly. But it's maybe one of those situations like with Hot Toys where, you know how they give us seamless bodies? We know those look great, but you really can't pose them, because if you pose them, you're going to break it, right? Or like a skin tight suit like Black Panther. Yeah, it has articulation. The suit looks great. But if you pose him dynamically and leave those arms bent or whatever, you're going to break it probably. You're going to rip it. So I'm starting to wonder if this is just a more expensive logic, you know what I mean? Like, you can't use the hover wheels because you're probably going to break it, which is super fucking unfortunate, because that's a huge part of what this vehicle is really sold for and what a lot of people will use it for. But it's the same reason people buy Hot Toys Bane, because the seamless body looks so good, but you can't really pose it, because if you do, you're probably going to break it. So, and that's kind of where I'm coming from, Dean. It's like, I feel like it's unacceptable, but I feel like we accept it for other things with Hot Toys. You know what I mean? Like, we accept it. We accept those limitations, even though this probably could have been avoided by, Zach mentioned a really good point, having a die cast hinge instead of plastic there.
Yeah.
That might have solved the problem.
You can replace it. Is that not replaceable now?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that, like, maybe we do accept other things. Why not this one? But I guess maybe because this one's more expensive. Maybe that's what it is. But
I guess my question would also be like, and I'm sure Dan can probably go into it, but like, what are the chances this gets a recall?
That's what Zach recommended.
Probably none.
Yeah, he was saying it should be. Yeah, I don't know. But because Dan, I'll get to you on this one. What do you think about that? Because I mean, the only recall that I can ever recall was Iron Man Mark 85. The Tony Stark.
But that one was like terrible.
Yeah, it was like a soft recall,
was
though.
terrible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
it
didn't even
was.
recall
Would you say
anything.
this is worse? Can we make an argument this is worse?
I would say this is probably
I'd say
worse.
this is probably worse for your money. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
So like,
There you go.
I'll start off by saying, like, first of all, I'm not getting the DeLorean, so I have no, like, I guess you could say, like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not a DeLorean expert, but like, in terms of like Hot Toys and doing their QC, like, nothing that's glued down should be coming off. Let's just be honest. It's kind of annoying. Like, yeah, with other figures, like the glue and stuff, it's bullshit. Like, I hate re-gluing stuff. Like, just simple stuff that Hot Toys does, and their glue just sucks or whatever. I don't know if they don't put enough. I don't know. It dries out. But like the wheels things, so like what I've gathered, the info I've gathered over the last like couple days or whatever, is that where people were trying to roll it, and then that's why like that snapping like that. That's from what I heard, because from what I heard, these things aren't supposed to roll.
Right.
Like, so I can see it kind of looks that way too. Like if it's snapping like one or left, maybe you're trying to left or right, like you're trying to roll it and it doesn't want to do it and it snaps. So I'd say, like, if you just got this thing and you unbox it, like, I would just say, just know it doesn't roll. Like, it don't force it. Like I didn't even know the bat pod rolled for the longest time until I saw like the little little red stopper, and I was like, oh well, I ain't gonna roll it anyway. I don't have to roll it
You're
anyway.
not gonna like ride around with an RC car.
Yeah. So like, all right, cool, whatever. But it just sucks, man. Like, if it were me, I know if I paid, the full price, like, I'd be pretty upset too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and then the whole hassle of shipping it back to Sideshow, like, it's a hassle, man. I've had to do that before. Maybe not something this big and it's expensive. Like, I don't know. A lot of people were super excited about this, man. Like, so excited for this, and to have like QC issues like this, that sucks, man. Like, but the whole seat thing not being glued, that is complete bullshit. Like objectively, even though I know I'm not getting this, like whatever, but the seat not being glued, that's crazy. I'd be so mad. Like, if mine being like that.
Yeah, if you're like, the seat's not even fucking in. Yeah,
I'd be so mad. I mean, I'd have to I'd obviously reglue it, and like the paint on the headrest, that's crazy. I don't know what that is, but
Right.
I mean, Hot Toys fucks up, man. They're not perfect. I mean, not every company
No
is. You know, but wow, I didn't really see these pictures before until now. I only saw the broken wheels. That's crazy. I'd be so mad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel for those though, man. I feel for those who are having these issues. And I also heard, like someone said in the chat, some of the electronics aren't working now. Like,
I saw that.
Right.
That's wild,
Correct.
bro.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys get it all sorted out and they fucking come out with another batch that's somewhat better. But
hopefully,
man,
man. Hopefully,
sucks.
like they do, because that's the one I want. You know what I mean? At this point. So
yeah, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and we got a really good question here. I want to address this super chat real quick. So do you guys think this goes in line? Thank you, by the way, that guy Mark, so much for the super chat. Appreciate it, bro. Do you think this goes in line with Jazz Inc. saying they went after the license and Hot Toys pushed this out fast? Might be why there wasn't much love put into it. It could be that. I don't know. What do you guys think about that theory?
Yeah, I mean, they rushed the Doc Brown too, reusing the same.
He had
sculpt.
hole heads, like
yeah,
head holes.
Like, why not retool that completely?
I think it's just a matter of like, dude, like they have so many pre-orders and they're still backed up on projects that they're just like, guys, we just got to pump these out because like, and it's not just the DeLorean, it's not just Doc Brown. I mean, it's Shang Titties, you know what I mean? And just other figures that are coming out that are just like a little questionable. You know what I mean? We expect more, but at the same time, you know, we're kind of to blame because we're like, oh, we want all these figures, we want all these characters, but now they're backed up and now they're like, hey, we want quality, but I'm like, we can't do quantity and quality. So we're kind of seeing the repercussions of our own asks, I guess. I don't know. So
and I think it might also just be as simple as Hot Toys is overwhelmed and overextended. I think that it could just be as simple as that. I think they just have a lot of things they're trying to do and being required to do by their licensees, that specifically Disney, that they just, it's hard to keep up with all these and maintain that level of quality that you're used to. So we could be seeing a slight slippage because of that. I don't know. Do you guys think there's any credibility in that stance? Because I mean, that could be what it is too. I mean, and Jazz Inc. maybe could have influenced it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's possible. I mean, this thing came out how many months early? Like, what? I honestly don't know. Like, what, like 6 or something like that or more?
Yeah. So it came out pretty significantly early. So
something crazy like that. So that's pretty interesting. Like, I think with Hot Toys, like they don't really do that often. Like, so I don't know. I think it's a good discussion, and hopefully Hot Toys would address it. You would think, but who knows? It's Hot Toys, man.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess we'll see, guys. I guess we'll see. Thank you so much for this. Yeah, it is. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mark. And again, this is not one I'm going to pick up regardless, but I do feel for the people who are paying these type of prices. I just want to present that alternative where, like, sometimes we want to be consistent. We accept certain limitations on things. For this one, you know, I think it's important as well just to recognize at least that. Although, again, this is a pretty integral feature. Like the hovering mode and the wheels flipping out is one of the main reasons that a lot of people bought it. So if it doesn't even do that effectively without breaking it in half, then it's not exactly ideal for the price you're paying.
It's like Jazzy says, imagine paying $1,000 for this. That's exactly what we're saying. You know, like you're paying so much for it and then it sucks. Like I said, I can empathize just because I'm buying it, but I'm not paying full price for it. So again, I just want to make sure that's clear. So anyway.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And that could influence your perception, Carlos. I mean, you know,
right.
That's, you know, and that's
I
why
may be willing to, maybe willing to be like, oh, you know, fucked up seats. Oh man, that sucks. But all right, let me get an exchange going, you know, because if you paid $1,000, you're like expecting more. I bought it for less than retail. So I'm like, I'm just happy that I got it for less. You know what I mean? So again, my opinion may be different.
Yeah.
So.